So help us contextualize, Sam, maybe like how compute constrained do you feel today? And when you look at the build out over the course of the next 2 to 3 years, do you think you'll ever get to the point where you're not compute constrained?
We talk about this question of, is there ever enough compute a lot? I think the answer is the best way to think about this is like a energy or something. You can talk about demand for energy at a certain price point, but you can't talk about demand for energy without talking about different demand at different price levels. If the price of compute per like unit of intelligence or however you want to think about it fell by a factor of 100 tomorrow, you would see usage go up by much more than 100. And there'd be a lot of things that people would love to do with that compute that just make no economic sense at the current cost, but there would be new kind of demand. So I think now, on the other hand, as the models get even smarter and you can use these models to cure cancer or discover novel physics or drive a bunch of humanoid robots to construct a space station or whatever crazy thing you want, then maybe there's huge willingness to pay a much higher rate cost per unit of intelligence for a much higher level of intelligence. That we don't know yet, but I would bet there will be. So I think when you talk about capacity, it's like a, cost per unit and, capability per unit. And you have to kind of, without those curves, it's sort of a made up number. It's not a super well specified problem.
Yeah. I mean, I think the one thing that, Sam, you've talked about, which I think is the right way is to think about, is that if intelligence is what a log of compute, then you try and really make sure you keep getting efficient. And so that means the tokens per dollar per watt, and the economic value that the society gets out of it is what we should maximize and reduce the costs. And so that's where, if you sort of where like the Jevons paradox point is that, right, which is you keep reducing it, commoditizing in some sense intelligence, so that it becomes the real driver of GDP growth all around.
Unfortunately, it's something closer to log of intelligence equals log of compute, but we may figure out better scaling laws and we may figure out how to beat this yet.